I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Joda Soge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Dame Gyapsu Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ke Dola Penjere Sangye Rubareshu Sangye Joda Soge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Dame Gyapsu Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ke Dola Penjere Sangye Rubareshu Sangye Choda Soge Chonam La Chanju Padu Dani Gyapsu Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ke Dola Penjir Sangye Drubaresho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata, the cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, now we'll turn to page 81. Page 81. The Sutra on Impermanence. We'll read this together. Here, although the Buddha addressed this, the direct disciples were the monks, but should be for all of us. For all of us, this should be the message, and see how accurate, how true that is, even related to each one of us. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And thus did I hear at one time that Bhagavan was dwelling in the Anadapindita's park in the Jeta Grove in Sravati, along with the large monastic assembly. The Bhagavan addressed the monks as follows. The monks, 4 things are appealing, singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, and highly praised by everyone. What are the 4? Monks, good health is appealing, singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, and highly appreciated by everyone. Good health, however, ends with sickness. Monks, sickness is neither appealing nor it is singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, or highly appreciated by anyone. Monks, youth is appealing, singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, and highly appreciated by everyone. Youth, however, ends with the aging of the body. Monks, the aging of the body is neither appealing nor is it singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, or highly appreciated by anyone. Monks, prosperity is appealing, singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, and highly appreciated by everyone. Prosperity, however, ends with its decline. Monks, the decline of prosperity is neither appealing nor is it singled out, nor considered valuable, pleasant, or highly appreciated by anyone. Monks, life is appealing, singled out, and highly appreciated by everyone. Life, however, ends in death. Monks, death is neither appealing nor is it singled out, considered valuable, pleasant, or highly appreciated by anyone. Thus spoke the Bhagavan, the Sugata, and having spoken, the teacher added these words. Good health is impermanent, youth does not last, prosperity is impermanent, and life too does not last. How can beings afflicted as they are by impermanence take delight in desirable things like these? When the Bhagavan had thus spoken, the monks rejoiced and praised his words. This completes the Sutra on Impermanence. Okay, so this morning we are talking about the 4 levels of independent origination. And we also learn about a quick revision of what we did this before to talk about waking up from the sleep of ignorance. It is so what we are learning, just see that just see that it makes sense to you. In other words, that without waking up from the sleep of ignorance, as long as you are in the sleep of ignorance, and however pleasant the dream is, even in the dream you are meditating, right? Still that is contaminated by the belief that the dream is real. You're getting it? So no matter what you do, till you wake up from the sleep of ignorance, as long as you're in the sleep of ignorance, as long as you're in the dream, you are under the sway, you have lost the degree of control, or you do not have this freedom. So lack of freedom is miseries. So from this, without understanding emptiness, there's no way by which one can be freed from samsara. You're getting it? So these convictions you have to gain, and don't just, even if you may not fully digest or fully understand what I'm saying now, just keep learning about this and see that that's very true. And then until you get experience of emptiness, no matter what you do, like they say, even bodhicitta, which is so precious, this will not liberate you. And let alone the breathing meditation and so forth, they will not liberate you without the wisdom of it. So they are all like doing in the dream, and the very fact the dream is what you don't have the choice. So loss of freedom, that is misery, that is samsara. If somebody would ask what is samsara, samsara means that you have loss of freedom. You have no freedom to choose the dream, and your mind creates the dream, unconventional dream. Okay, and why I'm saying this is because that we are bound, me, in this life. I'm very fortunate. In a way, we are all very fortunate. Somehow we are connected with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and His Holiness, such authority in the comprehensive path shown by the Buddha. So therefore, he gave the advice on how to focus on emptiness, how to focus on bodhicitta, study, practice bodhicitta, study the wisdom of emptiness. So this is what we have been constantly hearing. But the way, the manner in which, in the mornings, when we said that may my mind be directed toward the dharma, may the dharma be on the proper path. Proper path meaning that you can enter into some kind of tradition which says that just do the breathing meditation, this will take you to Buddhahood. This is what the Buddha taught. This will take you to Buddhahood. There are many traditions like this. So what I'm saying, it's not about this tradition bad, that tradition bad. This is not the point. The point is that you are seeking to attain total fearlessness and infinite happiness. For this, you need to know exactly what are the paths required for your attaining these 2 goals. So, from what we are discussing thus far is about how without waking up from the sleep of ignorance, you'll be constantly under the sway of the dream, of the unconventional dream. As long as you're in the dream, there's some degree of loss of freedom. Loss of freedom, misery, that is samsara. As long as you're in the dream, there's no freedom from samsara. So you have to wake up. How to wake up? You have to realize emptiness. To know that the dream contents are all coming from my mind. Without learning this, without practicing this, without meditating on this, there's no way by which the freedom can be attained. Forget about attaining Buddhahood. Even nirvana is not possible. So, the point is not that you have to argue with other people. Oh, we learn from Root Institute that this is the the path which liberates us, and what he said is true, so what you are teaching is wrong. No need to argue with anybody else. If you want to argue, argue with the self-grasping ignorance. Fight with the self-grasping ignorance, which is creating the dream, which makes you not wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Right? Meanwhile, they pray that in future lifetimes, if this lifetime I'm not able to complete the path, in the future lifetimes, may I meet with a complete path, not just partial path, complete path to attain enlightenment, which requires 4 things. What are they? Renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, and the single-pointed meditation. The 4 things are required. 4 things are required. So, until we have these 4, for example, some people say that, just breathing meditation will help us to become enlightened. Some people may say that renunciation will take you to Buddhahood. Some people say bodhicitta will take you to Buddhahood. So which is more important? Windows, doors, ceiling, the floor, or the walls? Which is more important? Everything is important. Everything is important. Right? Okay. So this is known as we should have a comprehensive path. Which of the 2 wings is more important? The birds, for the birds to fly, right wing or the left wing? Huh? Right may be more important, because without right, left cannot fly. So likewise, without the left, right cannot fly. So both, this is known as comprehensive, requirement of the comprehensive path. Then the next question is, what is the comprehensive path? You're getting it? What is comprehensive path? So all these things, we must get conviction. Don't just follow blindly. Don't just follow blindly. We must get, first listen to what others have to say. What others have to say might be wrong, might be incomplete, might be complete, or might be, partially correct, partially incorrect. So it is we need to have the sense of judgment. We need to learn, acquire the skill to learn what is correct, what is not correct, what is comprehensive, what is partial. We need to acquire the skill. For this we are learning. And don't think that, it's very complicated, I don't have the skill. When I was in school, I was not doing good in my studies. Don't worry. Even the skill is also dependent originated. The skill, even the skill to be able to judge properly is also dependent originated. By dependence on learning adequately, you will acquire the skills. Okay. So this is so important. So what we said is that this morning, to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. So what is so unique about the waking up? Waking up, we come to know that objects that happen in a dream, they're not really from the object, they're all coming from my mind. This is the unique feature of waking up. So what's the benefit? The benefit is that the moment you wake up, the moment you realize that all that happened in the dream was all coming from my mind, then all your agitation in the dream, or say the sadness in the dream, the fear in the dream, they all dissolve. This is what we are seeking. So, likewise, from the unconventional dream, what is happening now? This is not a conventional dream, it's an unconventional dream. From this unconventional dream, we have never woken up. And if you are already woken up from the unconventional dream, and still you come for this teaching, means that you come to check on me. You're getting it? Otherwise, we have not woken up from this unconventional dream. If you really want to get away from samsara, you have to wake up from the unconventional dream of samsara. Okay, so for that, how to wake up? It simply means to know that everything is coming from your mind, nothing exists from the object. How do you know this? For this, we need to say this concept is known as nothing from the object, all coming from the mind, means technically everything is subjective, nothing is objective. Everything is empty of objective existence. Okay, so what is me? How do I know that everything is empty of objective existence? Okay, just pick up anything from your table. Just pick up anything and show that to me. Okay, not only show that to me, also look at it yourself. And look at it and see how this object appears to you. Like a dream that your mind is creating it, or is so independently, objectively there. How does it appear to you? So objectively there. And do you believe this perception? Yes. This belief that the object exists objectively, this is self-grasping ignorance. This belief is the one which projects, which creates a dream, an unconventional dream. So our job is to say that this is the greatest of the deception. Right? Oh wait, then whatever I'm seeing. So look around, look at things around you. How do they appear? How do they appear? As object real or as subject real? So object real, which means during the daytime or in the nighttime, you see things as object real. All the time. When you are bored or when you are very excited. Both ways. Cheesecake, no cheesecake. Eating cheesecake, and then you miss the cheesecake, during which time you see things object real. Both. This is how we are in the unconventional dream 24/7. Every moment, every day we are in the unconventional dream. We have never woken up from this unconventional dream. So our job is to discover that this is all the unconventional dream. They all come from our mind. So for this is not that easy. It's not that easy because that this is not difficult as such. Only things that we need systematic learning. We need a sense of aspiration, enthusiasm to learn this, to learn about this. And no matter whatever situation, this is my journey. This commitment should be there. Okay, so to know this very thoroughly, we need to know what is known as the emptiness in the light of dependent origination. So emptiness equals, emptiness not nothingness. Emptiness is the meaning of dependent origination, and dependent origination meaning of middle way. Therefore, emptiness means the middle way. So how emptiness equals dependent origination? Through 5 points. And how dependent origination equals the middle way? Through 2 points. So through these we must gain conviction. Once you gain conviction in this, then we go a little bit about dependent origination. The more we study dependent origination, the better your understanding of emptiness. It'll make your understanding of emptiness easier. So finally, emptiness means, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. So dependent, the opposite is independent. You're getting it? So there's no independent existence. So when you understand dependent origination, you are reinforcing your understanding that things are empty of independent existence. Empty of independent existence, empty of objective existence. These two mean the same. These two are synonymous. Empty of independent existence, empty of objective existence. These two are, and empty of intrinsic existence, empty of inherent existence. They are all synonymous. Let me see this again. Emptiness of objective existence, emptiness of independent existence, emptiness of intrinsic existence, emptiness of inherent existence. They are all synonymous. Okay. So for the time being, we have to touch what is dependent origination. Dependent origination, His Holiness oftentimes describes that as of 3 kinds, sometimes at 2 kinds. So we learn the 3 kinds. That will suffice us learning about the 2 levels of dependent origination. 3 levels of dependent origination. Number 1, dependent origination of the results dependence on the causes. Dependent origination of the results dependence on the causes, or oftentimes referred to as causal dependent origination. Causal dependent origination. Dependent origination of results dependence on causes. Number 1. Dependent origination in Tibetan is Tendel, Tenjung or Tendel in Tibetan. Number 2, dependent origination of wholes dependence on parts. The wholes, the whole, house as a whole, table as a whole, the WHOLE, the wholes dependence on parts. Number 2. Number 3, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Okay, 3 levels of dependent origination. Now we need to understand each one of them. The first, okay, before we go into these details, the 3 versions of dependent origination, there's a sutra, and in fact this book is so precious. Many of the important things from sutras, from the Indian commentaries, by the Tibetan commentaries, you find that many of them are included in this book. This is so precious. In this book, you find in the opening part, if you look at the table of contents, you will see that there are 2 sutras. A sutra on dependent origination. There are the 2 sutras there. A sutra on dependent origination, and number 2 is the sutra on dependent origination, the Rice Seedling Sutra. Rice Seedling Sutra. Rice Seedling Sutra. Okay, so in this sutra, Rice Seedling Sutra, this interesting thing. The Buddha Shakyamuni, one morning, when he was when the Buddha was taking a walk, passing by a rice field. Yes, the followers, the monks, they followed the Buddha, and at one point the Buddha stopped, and Buddha pointed to the rice shoots, and the Buddha taught the monks, whosoever sees, okay, Venerable, come here. Okay, so the Buddha taught that the monks, he's fine. So the Buddha taught the monks, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dhamma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Let me repeat it. And later on, I would highly recommend you to read this sutra, if possible, and to study this sutra, the Rice Seedling Sutra. Rice Seedling Sutra. There the Buddha taught, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Okay, so this is what Shariputra so vividly remembers. And then in the afternoon, they say the Buddha was there, and the Arimathriya was also there. And then Shariputra followed Arimathriya, and 2 of them just exchanged courtesies. And then Shariputra asked this question to Arimathriya. So Arimathriya, this morning, and the Buddha stopped by the rice field and pointed to the rice shoots, rice seedlings, saying, monks, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. So what is the meaning of dependent origination? What's the meaning of the Dharma? What's the meaning of the Buddha when the Buddha referred to these 2 lines? So this was the question asked by Shariputra to Arimathriya. Then Arimathriya gave detailed answers. What the Buddha referred to by dependent origination, the Dharma, the Buddha, and so forth. Okay, this is a very important sutra. So that's not the first part of the section of the sutra, which I cited right now. Whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. Whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. This is one part. The next part of the sutra, the Buddha said, because this exists, that exists, because this is produced, that is produced, because of ignorance, karma is created, because of which the consciousness is created, because of which the name and form is created, because of which the source is created, because of which the content is created, feelings, and the feelings, then attachment, grasping, becoming, birth, aging and death. And the miseries, anxiety, bewilderment, confusion, they are all created. Then the Buddha continued, when the ignorance stops, when the ignorance ceases, then the karma ceases, because of which the consciousness ceases, because of which the name and form ceases, the sources ceases, context ceases, feeling ceases, then the attachment ceases, grasping ceases, becoming ceases, then the birth, aging and death ceases, and all the confusion, bewilderment, miseries, they all stop. Okay, so this is a very complete understanding of what is dependent origination. So dependent origination, which the Buddha is referring to here, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. This dependent origination, the Buddha is referring to the first of the three kinds of dependent origination, the first one. And you remember, every morning we recite the mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. All these phenomena arise from their causes. So causal dependent origination. You're getting it? So if you know the Dharma so well, we see that all these things are connected. All these things are connected, and you can see that, you can see a very beautiful, for example, like the jigsaw puzzle, when small pieces, when you cannot put them well, then it doesn't give a proper word, the painting or whatever, the picture. Whereas if you could put the pieces in the proper places, then you can see beautiful picture come out of that. So likewise, if you know that the teachings of the Buddha so well, then we see that everything is connected to each other. And this is how you become very confident in your Dharma knowledge, and then it makes you very confident in your Dharma practice, and you will not be easily swayed by the wrong path. You will not be easily swayed by somebody on a basis of name, fame, whatever. Usually this is how people are so wrongly being misguided, right? So they say, well, on a basis of name and fame, people follow just by the name and friend. And look at how people are swayed by the brands. What is brand? It's just a name. Even small children, they don't know how to distinguish between the locally stitched clothes and what is that? Levi's. Then Nike. What else? Okay, say something even more. Chanel and Gucci, right? Don't say Adidas, they're all gone. So nowadays Gucci, Chanel, right? The small children, they have no idea how the Gucci is different from the locally stitched, the clothes, locally stitched shoes and so forth. But they say, Mom, I want the Gucci, right? Simply because we are so addicted to following the brands and the names. And this is the same mentality we apply to the Guru also. Seeking Guru, just name brand, right? This is how people suffer terribly. You're getting it? So if you get a good picture of the Dharma, then you will know. So you will know what is the real Dharma. And on that basis, pray that in future lifetimes, may I not be swayed by the brands. You're getting it? That I'll be able to make the proper judgment on a basis of understanding a complete, thorough knowledge of the Dharma. Okay, so today we are very fortunate that we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who always tells us, he never encourages us to go into tantra, right? He never encourages us. He is expert in all these, but he never encourages us into this. He said that, in fact, I remember when His Holiness was giving the Shri Heruka Tantra empowerment, when he was giving that, in the end, what he said, if you take me as your teacher, you have to practice bodhicitta, you have to practice the wisdom of emptiness. He did not say that you have to practice Shirikala Tantra. He didn't say this. You are very lucky. Otherwise, there are many other teachers who simply guide you into all these things, and then eventually the students get totally lost. So this is where we should be very careful to get a good picture of the Dharma. Okay. So with this, they say whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. So this dependent origination is in the context of the first level of dependent origination. Of the three levels, the first one, and precisely what the Buddha taught in the mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. All these phenomena arise from their causes. This is a causal dependent origination. You're getting it? Causal dependent origination is taught there. Okay. And we see that it's not that, for example, like they say, okay, the people here, I can divide the audience here into 3 groups. The youngest one, the middle one, the elders. 3 groups. Is this how the 3 levels of dependent origination group? No. They can overlap. Say, the same composite phenomenon, that's one object qualifies all the 3 levels of dependent origination. For example, this object, this flower, let's say this is a real flower. Say, this flower is causally originated, causally, dependent, because that it came into existence by dependence on its cause, the seeds and the water and so forth, and also that it depends on its parts, right? The flower, it depends on the pistil, the petals, and the branch and so forth. It depends on the color, the shape and so forth. It depends on the various parts. And also it depends on our mind, imbued by mental designation. Because, do you agree with me that this just actually, if you look at this through electron microscope, you will just see a bunch of atoms. You're getting it? So this initially you see that it's just a bunch of cells. And you further going into the macro level, we see that it's just made of, say, inside the nucleus of the cells, you see the chromosomes, and you see DNA molecules. Then you see the atoms. It's just nothing but a bunch of atoms. But you look at it with naked eyes, you see as a flower, as though like there's something as a flower. You're getting it? So where is this flower? On the atomic level, there's no flower there. Where is this flower coming from? Where? It's from nowhere. It's just your mental imputation. Your mind, self-grasping ignorance, it projects this as a flower, it appears a flower, that's it. You're getting it? So if you go closer to this object, you just end up seeing the atoms. Even the atoms also not be seen there. Even the atoms, because atoms are made of electrons, protons, neutrons. So as of now, physics cannot go beyond this. The electrons, the quarks, they cannot really go beyond this. It doesn't mean that this is the end of the universe. This is simply the limitations of physics as of now. So they are still in the process of doing more research to see what is subtler the particles there. Okay, so what I'm saying, the same object they qualifies all the 3 levels of dependent origination. For your information, we talked about the composite phenomena and non-composite phenomena. Did we discuss on this? Not discussed. No. Not discussed. Are you sure? Composite and non-composite. Things which are made of the material parts and the temporal parts are known as composite phenomena. And things that exist but not made of these 2 components. Not made of these 2 components, they are known as non-composite phenomena. You're getting it? And some of you may be wondering, what examples do you have for the non-composite phenomena? Right? Okay, how many of you have this question? Raise hands. How many of you are on the verge to ask this question? 1, 2, only 2, 3. Hey, Geshe Dorji, how come? You should be expert in this. You know that. So I'm asking, who raise hands? Those who are on the verge to ask this question. What examples do we have for the non-composite phenomena? Raise hands. 1, 2, 3. Only 3. So, which means you're a minority. Okay, how come? Raviji, you should be the one to explain others what is non-composite phenomena. Okay, good. So don't worry. This we have to discuss. You're getting it? We have to discuss what? We have to discuss on what examples do we have for non-composite phenomena, right? If I jump, you have to catch me. 3 of you, right? Okay. So what are we discussing? Okay. All composite phenomena. So we see that phenomena can be classified into 2, composite and non-composite. The composite phenomena, they qualify all the 3 levels of dependent origination. Composite phenomena qualify all three levels of dependent origination. For example, you. Are you composite phenomena or non-composite phenomena?
Composite.
Composite phenomena. Are you composite phenomena? Yes. How? How are you composite phenomena? Huh? Because I'm impermanent phenomena, right? Composite phenomena, impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. I'm impermanent phenomena. So, what makes you think that impermanent phenomena should be composite? Anyone? Reasons? Yeah, Chula. Why or how composite phenomena should necessarily, no, impermanent phenomena should be composite phenomena. Yes. What does it mean by composite? Composite does not, composite per se. This label per se does not talk about the change. It simply means it's composed of something. You're getting it? So, what makes you think that impermanent phenomena should necessarily be composite? Okay. Here, let us see.
So, composite is like assembling or compounding, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. What is composite phenomena? Now be little technical, right? What is composite phenomena? What is composite phenomena? No, composite. So what would be like the etymology of composite? What is the etymology? Etymology, which is composed, which is constituted of material parts or temporal parts. These are the technicalities. You are getting it? So after learning the technicalities, don't just stay in a the symbol form all the time. You're getting it? You have to bring up the technicalities to prove that, okay, we are ready to jump with you, to go further into emptiness and not much time to waste. So if you just stay all the time with the symbol all the time, then I cannot go deeper into the emptiness. You're getting it? You have to bring the technicalities. What have you learned? Bring them here. Okay, what does it mean by composite phenomena? A phenomena which is composed of material parts or temporal parts. Finish. If you give this answer, nobody can provoke you with more questions. You're getting it? Okay, yes.
Parts or parts?
P-A-R-T-S. P-A-R-T-S. Okay. Okay. So, composite phenomena, they qualify all the three levels of dependent origination. Whereas non-composite phenomena qualify only the dependent origination level number 2 and number 3, not the number 1. Non-composite phenomena, they qualify only 2 levels of dependent origination, not all 3. They qualify only the number 2 and number 3. What is number 2? Dependent origination of the whole dependence. But I give you full, you have to give me full. You're getting it? When I give you full, don't give me half. You have to give me full. Okay. So what is number 2? Dependent origination? Dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on the parts. What is number 3? Dependent origination of dependence on the mere mental designation or mere mental imputation. Good. And the non-composite phenomena, the number 2 and number 3, both are, the remaining two are applicable, not the first one. Okay. And some of you may be wondering, so without understanding what is non-composite phenomena, how can we say that it qualifies number 2 and number 3, right? Okay. So let me quickly go through what is non-composite phenomena. Okay, the two of you should pay attention. Non-composite phenomena. Okay, speak your mind, don't speak your philosophy. Speak your mind, right? Okay. What is in my left hand? Nothing. Okay, now let's say, what is in my left hand? Chocolate. Okay, how many things are in my left hand? One. Good. Now what is in my left hand? Nothing. Particularly 1, 2, 3. Rajni, Chelsea, and Anushri. 3 of you, right? Who raised your hands? Okay, what is in my hand? A. Nothing. Good. Is there chocolate? No chocolate. So the chocolate is absent? Absence of chocolate is there?
Yes.
Something is there? Because the absence of chocolate is there. Absent chocolate, does it exist or not? It exists. It is there. It is not there. So chocolate, absence of chocolate is outside my hand. Chocolate is, hey, Anushri. Absence of chocolate is in my hand or outside my hand? In my hand. It is there. Okay, so something is there.
Absence of chocolate is there.
Something is there.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so nothing is not there.
Absence of chocolate is there.
Yes, so this is not one that I know. So I'm asking, something is there or nothing is there? Oh, something is there. So anybody who says nothing is there is wrong. Okay. So this is where, so when you said that if I go outside and tell the people that, tell the shopkeepers, right, who are busy, particularly with the crowd, they're so busy, and if you don't buy something, they'll show, angry face, don't occupy space, get out, right? So if you say that, if you said something is in my hand, they'll be very angry, right? Get out. Okay. So if you say something is in my hand, are they wrong or they're right? Nothing is in the hand. Are they right or they're wrong? They're right. They're right. But are you right or wrong? Now people here, if I say what is there, most of you will say absence of chocolate is there. Right? Is it correct or not correct? So how can both be correct? One said there's nothing there, one said something is there. Huh?
The shopkeeper is talking about the conventional.
So the absence of the chocolate is not conventional truth. It's emptiness. Okay, so look, do you agree with me that both are correct? The shopkeeper said that nothing is in my hand, right? Nothing is in my hand. Nothing is in your hand. This is also correct. And you said the absence of chocolate is there. It's also correct. It's correct or not correct? Both are correct. Okay. How can you say both are correct when these were just contradictory? One said that something is there, one said nothing is there. These two are contradictory. How can both be correct? You're getting it? So listen, both are correct. How? When the shopkeeper said nothing's there, they mean to say that there's no substance there. There's no substance to say, I am the chocolate. Substance, there's nothing, there's no such substance there. When you're talking about that something is there, you are not talking about the substance there, right? Absence of substance is there. For the shopkeepers, they did not learn about the absence of substance. So they're only about the substance all the time. This is how the concept of the absence is something which ordinary people usually don't study. They don't think about, but sometimes they have to. Otherwise, they're just only addicted to the concrete things. Concrete things. You're getting it? Okay. So the point is that when the ordinary people say there's nothing there, which means that there's no substance there. You're getting it? Substance. The substance is known as, substance is what? Substance is what is constituted of material things or temporal parts. You're getting it? Substance is something which is made of material parts or temporal parts. So, whatever substance is impermanent phenomena. In other words, when shopkeeper says there's nothing in your hand, which means that there's no impermanent phenomena. There's no composite phenomena there. right? But you said the absence of chocolate is there. So absence of chocolate is not a composite phenomena because there is no substance there. Because there is no, because this is not composed of, it's not composed of material parts and temporal parts. Absence of chocolate. So it exists. It's the undeniable reality. It exists. But it does not exist as a substance. You're getting it? It does not exist as a substance which is composed of temporal parts and material parts. You're getting it? So, what doesn't, it exists, but it doesn't exist as a substance. What is a substance can undergo change? Yes. So, for example, this flower. Okay, even this chocolate. This chocolate, if I, okay, let's say cheesecake. If I keep the cheesecake in my hand for 10 days, will you eat after 10 days? You will not eat. Why? Because it has gone bad. Because it has gone bad. Which means that it has changed from fresh cheesecake to stale cheesecake. You're getting this change. This change happens because of this substance. If there's no substance, there's no change. You're getting it? Change means that there should be some substance which does not stay as it is. It changes from first moment to the second to the third to the fourth, and eventually it becomes stale. You're getting it? So, composite phenomena, they undergo change. Non-composite phenomena, because they don't have any substance, there's no substance to undergo change. You're getting it? So, non-composite phenomena, because they don't undergo change, they are not impermanent. Because they are not impermanent, they should be permanent. What exists but not impermanent is a permanent. You're getting it? Okay, let me say this again. So, it flows like so magic, like nice. But then when you are to reproduce this, you cannot say this. Right? Okay, let me repeat it. So, saying things can go bad, which means that cheesecake can go bad because it changes. If it never changes, it will forever remain fresh. You agree with me or not? If it does not change, it should forever remain fresh as the day one. The fact that it becomes bad means that it changes. It changes. You're getting it? So to undergo change, there should be a substance which undergoes changes. You're getting it? The substance means substance which is composed of material parts and temporal parts. You're getting it? So when the shopkeeper says there's nothing in your hand, means they are saying what? There's no substance there, right? But you said that there's absence of chocolate there. Absence of chocolate exists, which means absence of chocolate does not have a substance. There's no substance there to say that I am the absence of chocolate. There's no substance there. If there's no substance there, there's no substance there to undergo change. If there's no change, then it is not impermanent. Absence of chocolate is not impermanent. If it is not impermanent, it exists and it is not impermanent, it should be permanent. You're getting it? This is known as non-composite phenomena, referred to as permanent phenomena. Permanent phenomena, non-composite phenomena, these two are synonymous. You're getting it? So okay, today we can't have the good discussion, but if we have half an hour break. During that time, if you want to discuss, you can discuss about what is and these are the things that just you're hearing from somebody once, they cannot give you the clarity. You get it, it planted the seed in your mind, and then you have to, say intellectually discuss with somebody else. You have to keep discussing. You say something, let others say, you also say, and this is how things will become clear in your mind. Okay. So this is non-composite phenomena. Anushri, you got it? Chelsea? Rajni? Huh? Yes.
With the non-composite, just the example that you gave me, you have the chocolate in the hand and then there is the absence of chocolate in the hand. Isn't there a temporal component because the non-absence of the chocolate in the hand is related to the fact that just before that?
Okay, so the temporal segment, I want to take you to that also. What do you mean by temporal segments? So temporal segment means segments in time. You're getting it? And time makes sense only with physical form and mind. You're getting it? Physical form, there is some material parts. Material parts, so because of which then the time makes sense. With the mind also changes. Because the mind changes, there's a temporal component to the mind, where anything which has nothing to do with the mind and the physical form, time makes no sense. You're getting it? Time makes no sense. Time, we think that there's a time, something, something there, right? So the flower, they exist in time. It's so like the space, in the space, then you bring the flower, there's flower in the space. It's not like this. The flower itself is a material thing, it's changing, therefore we speak about time, because it's changing. So what actually changes, what you see is the form and mind. That's it. Form and mind. So yesterday we talked about form, mind and non-associated composition factors. Non-associated composition factors, they are nothing but the manifestation of the form and the mind. For example, the person. The person is not a non-associated composition factor. How? The person has a body and a mind. You're getting it? Time. What is time? Time related to the physical body and the mind. Right? So, non-associated composition things are the things which are nothing but the composition of the mind and the form of the body. So finally, if somebody were to ask you, what is time, or say what actually exists in this universe, it's just the mind and the body. That's it. Mind and the body there, and all the other things are the characteristics. So because of the mind and body, then the non-associated composition factors come into being. For example, the girls, boys, they come into being because of the body, human body. You agree? You are a girl, you are a boy because of your body, yes, no? Yes. So associated with your body, then the self comes into being. Associated with the body, associated with the mind, the self comes into being. Okay. So so in other words, temporal, if you reflect deeply, you see that temporal associated with the matter, physical matter. This because of this, that the physics says that world is nothing but the physical is made of the atoms. That's it. Atoms are the final building block of the whole universe. Because for them, the mind is out of question. Mind is totally unrelated. For them, the mind is non-existent. Everything should be reduced to the physical the laws according to physics. Then say we bring in the mind. Yes, the mind is there. And then besides the mind and the body, you can talk about the self. Self is not a person. Self is not the mind, it's not the body. But it has mind and it has body. You're getting it? So this is nothing but the composition of the mind and the physical form. Okay. Good. So with this, what we're saying is that the first level of dependent origination is applicable only to the composite phenomena. Whereas for the non-composite phenomena, only the number 2 and number 3 are applicable, not the first one. This is what we have to know. One. Then number 2 thing that I'd like to share with you, very important, is that we have to learn what is known as the 4 Buddhist schools. So most of you know the 4 Buddhist schools, meaning 4 Buddhist philosophical schools, schools of thought. 4 Buddhist schools of thought. What are they? Vaibhashika. So those who are new, it's a great opportunity for you to be with many of the participants here who already know these things, so that way you can grow very fast. If you if you put a little extra energy, you can grow very fast. It's a great opportunity. Number 1 is Vaibhashika. Number 2, Sautrantika. Number 3, Chittamatra. Number 4, Madhyamika. Let me repeat it. Number one, Vaibhashika, Vaibhashika. Number two, Sautrantika, Sautrantika. Number three, Chittamatra. Number four, Madhyamika. Four. Okay. Of the four, the first three schools, first three Buddhist schools of thought, for them, dependent origination means only the composite phenomena. Dependent origination means composite phenomena. The dependent origination is applicable only to the composite phenomena. For them, when the Buddha taught dependent origination, for them dependent origin means composite phenomena. It is not applicable to the non-composite phenomena. They do accept non-composite phenomena, but they say that non-composite phenomena are not dependent originated. Dependent origination and composite phenomena, these two are synonymous. Whereas for Prasangika, dependent origination, everything is dependent originated. Everything is not only the composite phenomena, even the non-composite phenomena, they're also dependent originated. For Madhyamika, dependent origination is more expansive. It pervades all phenomena. Everything is dependent originated. So this distinction we have to make. Okay. And they say the three levels of dependent origination, although it is the case that it becomes subtler, the first to the second to the third, progressively it becomes subtler. The first one is gross, second one is subtler, third one is subtlest. But we are not to think that, okay, I have to know the third level of dependent origin. We have to know all three, because they operate, or the understanding of these three levels of dependent origination can have different impact in your emotional world. Different impacts on the emotional world. Okay, which is subtler concept? Neuroscience, or let's say neuroscience, or the neuroscience, or let's say which is the subtler, which is a subtler at the principle. Let's say the mechanical science, or neuroscience. Okay, mechanical science or neuroscience, or okay, let's say relativity theory or the quantum mechanics. Which is subtler? Huh? So okay, so it is like the question asks, which is the most subtle, or okay, which is better, neuroscience or physics? Huh? Neuroscience is better. Which is okay? Which is more subtle, neuroscience or physics? Most likely, the biased physicists, the what? Physics fundamentalists will say that neuroscientists, they don't know about electrons, protons, neutrons. And neuroscientists, they will say that they don't know about how the mind works, right? They are very subtle in their own ways. We cannot say that one is subtler, the other one is the grosser. You cannot say that. You're getting it? So likewise, it's not that the first level of dependent origination, so you don't really understand it. You understand the third one, then that's a subtlest. No, you have to understand all. They have different impact in your life, in your emotional world, to manage your emotional world. So the first one is extremely important, because the whole universe is operating on the basis of the first level of dependent origination. Law of karma falls under this category. Law of karma falls under this category, and all our miseries are governed by the law of karma. If you don't want the miseries, you cannot evade the law of karma. You have to follow the law of karma. And law of karma falls under the category of the first level of dependent origination. because law of karma falls under the category of the cause and effect. Cause and effect, so it falls on the first level of dependent origination. So particularly when the Buddha taught, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma. This dependent origination is particularly that they say the cause and effect, dependent origination, and which includes the law of karma. And cause and effect, there are two kinds. The karmic cause and effect, and the non-karmic cause and effect. Karmic cause and effect and non-karmic cause and effect. For example, let's say, I'm holding this stick, and then I accidentally just drop it. As I drop it, it makes a sound. You're getting it? It has nothing to do with karma. That the fact that this stick, the wooden stick falls, and this gong makes a sound, this is purely mechanical. It has nothing to do with the karma. You're getting it? This act. So the stick hits the gong, and the gong produces a sound. Stick hits the gong, this is the cause, and the gong produces a sound. This is the result. In the environment where there is air, if the air is not there, then the sound will not spread. Right? There will be no sound in the first place. Where there's air around, and the stick hitting the gong as a cause, then the sound as a result is produced. You're getting it? So this cause and effect is purely mechanical. It is not karmic cause and effect. What is karmic cause and effect? Karmic cause and effect is a cause where your intention is involved. So this stick does not have the intention to create sound. You're getting it? This stick hitting the gong does not have the intention to create sound. You're getting it? So whereas when you engage, for example, like say me, okay, look, this, what am I doing? I'm picking up the glass of juice. So this involves intention. This involves intention. So this cause, which involves intention, and then it results in drinking, and then I feel my thirst gone. My thirst quenched as a result. So that is karmic cause and effect. Karmic cause and effect is a cause where intention is involved. In other words, any cause and effect where the intention is not involved is known as non-karmic cause and effect, whereas any cause and effect where in the cause the intention is involved, that is known as karmic cause and effect. Yes. Oh, so I said that, okay, this stick, so that say me picking up the stick is also one cause. Then the stick accidentally falling is also a cause. The stick hitting the gong is also a cause. You're getting it? And then because of the stick hitting the gong, then the sound is produced as a result. So stick hitting the cause as a cause, hitting the gong as a cause, there are many causes, right? If I did not really pick up the stick in the first place, then it will not hit the gong. But the stick hitting the cause, I do not mean to hit it with the stick. It just fell, and then it hit the stick hit the gong, and the gong made this sound. So that is a pure mechanical. And sometimes what is mechanical and what is karmic cause can operate together. For example, say that I hit that like this. So I'm hitting this with intention, and the sound is produced. That is karmic. Whereas while I'm hitting it, the stick hits the gong, and it did not give rise to music. It did not give rise to Mozart music, right? Whereas it gives another sound. This is purely because of this mechanical thing. You're getting it? So we see that there's overlap. The stick hitting the gong is a cause giving rise to the sound. Whereas me hitting the gong with the stick, me hitting, that is where the intention is involved. You're getting it? So that is karmic, and where the stick hitting the gong and then making the sound is purely non-karmic. These two can overlap. These two can overlap. Okay. Yes.
Did I understand correctly that non-composite phenomena qualify number 2 and number 3?
Yes.
But number 2 is cause dependence of parts.
Yes.
So how can non-composite phenomena has
What's your question? How is composite or non-composite?
non-composite things qualify?
Okay, let's all listen to what Gabo has to say. Say it again.
So non-composite phenomenon qualifies the second level of dependent origination, which is cause dependent on parts.
Yes.
But if it's non-composite, then it doesn't have parts.
Okay. Do you all follow the question? What's the question? Can you repeat the question or paraphrase the question by Gabor, his hands? Who understood the question?
Non-composite phenomena doesn't have parts. That is his question. So how does it fit in the second?
Good. Non-composite phenomena, what we said is that it qualifies level dependent origination level number 2 and number 3. Number 2 is holds dependence on the parts. So does it mean that non-composite phenomena, they depend on the parts? If yes, if not, then how does the non-composite phenomena qualify the second level of dependent origination? If yes, do the non-composite phenomena have parts? This question. Do you follow the question? Okay, this is a good question. So the answer is yes, parts may not necessarily be. So what I said is that, I say, what is composite phenomena? Hey, what is composite phenomena? A phenomena which is composed of, don't just say material parts and temporal parts. Phenomena which is composed of material parts and temporal parts. You getting it? Okay. Okay. Am I correct to say that am I correct to say that am I correct to say that the people in this hall, they are in India? Is it correct or not correct? Huh? People in this hall, they're in India, correct? Not correct or not correct? Correct. Okay. Which means there are no people outside India? Huh? All the people in this hall should necessarily be in India. Correct or not correct? Correct. Hey, the girls, correct or not correct? Correct. So there's no people outside India? Because we said that all the people in this hall, they are in India. Huh? Okay, good. Right? So when you speak about the parts related to the composite phenomena, we talked about the only 2 versions of parts. What are 2 versions of parts? Material parts and temporal parts. But there are other parts also, not only the 2 kinds. You're getting it? You're getting it? There are also other parts. Parts which compose, which make non-composite phenomena. You're getting it? Okay, like what? For example, space. Let's say the space of this gong, non-composite space of this gong, inside this gong, non-composite space of my room, non-composite space of my room in Delhi, my house in Delhi, right? So they're all different parts, right? So these parts are not the temporal parts, these parts are not the material parts. These are the third version of the parts. So it's not necessary that when we say that something is composed of parts, it should not necessarily be composed of the temporal parts or the material parts. You're getting it? There's a third part also. And then this is what you will very clearly again find this in this book. This book is a extremely precious book. It's a treasure. It is everything. This is a treasure store. Okay, you want to know about it? Anybody who can identify where you can find this non-composite phenomena having parts? Anybody who can identify this? Anyone? Hey, NMC? No? Okay. So if you cannot identify this, then I will help you. Okay. If you turn to, so look at the table of contents, and there's a title, Ultimate Reality in Madhyamika Philosophy. Can you find it? Where is it? 231. 221. Okay, let's turn to page 221 and then see where it is. Okay. In fact, precisely it is on 222 that what I'm looking for. It says, there's in the second verse, Gabor, can you read it? Or otherwise, Dr. Tina, would you read it? Yes. 222, page 222, the second paragraph.
Through this understanding, this is the one.
Yes.
Through this understanding, one reflects true existence with respect to non-functional objects.
Okay, non-functional objects, non-composite phenomena, these two are synonymous. You're getting it? Non-composite phenomena, non-functional, and the objects, they are synonymous. Non-functional objects as well. Then?
Using similar reasoning, even in the case of non-composite space,
Okay, now look, non-composite space, Gabor. Yes.
we have to accept that there are some forms where it pervades and not to others. Within that, some pervades the east and other pervades other directions. In the same light, the ultimate reality also has many pervading parts and has many parts in the sense of being objects of realization of various temporal movements of the mind.
Okay, so even the ultimate reality, which is non-composite phenomena, has many parts. You're getting it? Many parts. So parts may not necessarily be only material parts or temporal parts. There is a third, the parts, and the author, Lama Tsongkhapa. This is the composition by Lama Tsongkhapa. You see the mention that this is the third kind of parts. Okay, so this will not, yes, yes.
So how does it not qualify the dependent origination or the cause of dependent origination?
Okay, cause and effect, which means that, okay, let's say the cheesecake on the table keep it for 10 days, right? You don't have to mentally think of anything, and then it changes by itself. From being fresh, eventually it becomes stale, very bad. So the first moment serves as a cause, second moment serves as a result, second moment serves as a cause, third moment serves as a result. This is how cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. Whereas for the non-composite phenomena, there is no cause-effect operation. So these parts are not causes, these parts are not causes. Okay, so let's say that the say my mind can think of the non-composite space. Okay, let's say my mind can think of the absence of tiger, but the absence of tiger is not what my mind is creating. You're getting it? My mind is projecting, not creating. For example, this flower. This flower is not what my mind is creating. It projects, but the flower comes into existence from its own atoms. You're getting it? Okay, good. Okay. Where did we live last? Where did we live? Huh? Okay, 3 levels of dependent origination. We are talking about the first level of dependent origination is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena, and whereas For the composite phenomena, non-composite phenomena or permanent phenomena, only the number 2 and number 3 are applicable. For the composite phenomena, all 3 are applicable. And we also said that according to the different the Buddhist, the philosophical schools of thought, except for Madhyamika, the rest of the schools, for them, dependent origination means only the composite phenomena, only the first level of dependent origination, right? And for them, the non-composite phenomena, they are not dependent originated. For them, dependent originated means something which is originated by the part of their causes. Okay, this is one thing that we have to learn. And the whole universe, law of karma, is so important, and it falls under the category of the first level of dependent origination. You're getting it? And all of miseries, they are the direct results of contaminated karmas, which fall under the category of the first level of dependent origination. If you don't know the first level of dependent origination well, you don't know how the karma operates, and then we can go into, we can go into accumulate so much of negative karma unknowingly, because of the ignorance of how the karma operates. We can go into accumulate so much of negative karma, and we will continue to suffer. So therefore, knowledge of the karma, which falls under the category of the knowledge of the first level of dependent origination, is so important for us, so that we can stay away from accumulating negative karma and engage in the virtues, so that we have the maximum happiness and we'll get away from miseries. Okay, good. Okay, so it's almost 4. So we'll come back at 4:30, 5:30. Good. We'll stop here. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata